Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. Then I'd be able to send watches like this to your inbox on a daily basis, and I'd really appreciate it. If you like our watches, you can buy this one and 1,700 of its friends on thewatchbox.com. Buy, trade, and sell luxury watches on thewatchbox.com globally and 24 hours a day. And today we are discussing the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra Golf Edition. Of course, you can see this is the pre-2017 variant, as the teak deck dial runs north to south rather than east and west, and there's a little bit of a shouldering and anti-shear guard about the crown that is sadly gone from the post-2017 models. This one a bit more secure and sporting in its profile. It's a handsome watch that's 41.5 millimeters in stainless steel on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. Now, my wrist is not large, and this watch is an impressive presence without being an oppressive presence. So that's to say, it's a 41.5, but it looks like a 42 or a 43. Not excessively thick, however, despite the tri-level coaxial, which objectively is a thick movement. It's 13.2 millimeters thick, and you can see it has a generously sloped conical bezel, so it will slide underneath tight cuffs, such as a Master's jacket. This being the Golf Edition with signature Master's jacket green accents. It's essentially the surf turf Omega Seamaster. The 300 meters, the 300s, and the Planet Oceans, those are professional style watches. This is more of a highly water resistant sporting watch in the vein of the original 1948 Omega Seamaster. So you can see that the watch is relatively compact lug to lug and wears easily on my wrist. Again, reasonably compact despite its apparent size. 48.4 millimeters means I think you could wear this watch successfully on an oval-shaped wrist as small as 14 to 14.5 centimeters circumference. Now, you will note that the case itself has nice stubby and sharply downturned lugs. It always helps when lugs are both short cropped and rather tightly downturned, sometimes even 90 degrees from the horizontal of the case band. You'll also note that the strap, though substantial and bolstered, is not stiff, and it can pull straight down around a smaller wrist. It's not pegged against the case flank or pinned in any respect. We'll come back to the dial in a moment, but let's talk about the strap. Of course, this one designed a little bit more for turf than surf. A handsome saddle brown with a white contrasting stitch bolstered with a folded edge, and you'll note underside of calfskin to match. A full deployant clasp. Now, this is a wonderful piece because though it is germane to almost all Omega models that feature a clasp, it's thoughtfully designed. All of satin finish and stainless steel. You can see that the excess strap tucks underneath the body of the clasp. So once it's sized down, there are no minor loops, there's no extra strap flapping in the breeze. It's a clever and clean design. Moreover, it features twin trigger release, so you have to push those triggers. It can't simply pop open, and small details matter. It has a handsome satin finish about it with a polished Omega marquee for contrast. The timepiece is classic in its profile. Virtually everyone who has encountered, we can get close because the watch is off the wrist, but virtually everyone who has encountered a modern Speedmaster or Seamaster will recognize this beveled case. Polished bevels, satin finish flank, polished bezel, and as you can see, polished between the lugs as well. Handsome, I mentioned pre-2016, the crown was somewhat sunken into the case flank to prevent shearing and protect it. Well, that's how I actually prefer my sports watch to be made. Even if this is a more genteel Seamaster, it's still a sports watch with a screw-down crown and 150-meter water resistance, as well as a measure of protection against shearing. Now, the dial features the mid-2000s teak deck concept, which I believe bowed at Basel 2008, and the idea is that this being a watch that may be enjoyed atop the waves as well as below, it has a little bit of imagery that evokes the deck of a yacht, hence the teak deck concept. You'll also note applied indices and small green accents for Arabic minutes numerals and seconds numerals outboard of the hour track. The hour track itself and the inner dial somewhat raised above the seconds and minutes outboard, and you'll note broad arrow, vintage-inspired minute hand. Quite a good deal of color on this dial, a handsome look, and there is plenty of luminescence. There will be a lume shot at the end. What I appreciate is that Omega sweats the details, like the applied Omega company marquee and logo, and the date window itself is unobtrusive, being a monotone disc with the aperture itself pared down as much as possible, but with a handsome trapezoidal profile pointing toward the center to counterbalance the index at 9. This is anything but a default design. Now you screw the crown out. It is a screw-down crown, and a robust one with a combination of polish and media blasted finish. And you have a couple of functional options. First, you have a quick set for the time zone. You can jump forward, you can jump backwards, you can drive the date in either direction as you cross the international date line, and you'll note the watch continues ticking. There is no loss of time or chronometric performance. Now, if you wish to synchronize to a reference time, now you pull the crown out, you can stop the seconds hand. It does have hacking seconds, so that function is accounted for if you wish to be ultra precise. Now you turn the watch over and you can see this is caliber 8500. It debuted back in 2007 on the DeVille Hour Vision. It is a 39 joule dual mainspring barrel, 60-hour power reserve, purpose-built coaxial caliber. So it's not like a converted Frederic Piguet Valjoux 7750 or ETA 2892. In previous eras of Omega, the coaxials were converted from existing calibers. The 8500 was born as a coaxial, with the result that it is both more robust and more precise. So you've got your twin mainspring barrels in series, enabling that 60-hour power reserve, as well as superb chronometric precision via even torque release over the full 60-hour reserve, so it doesn't speed up or slow down as it discharges. It does have a COSC chronometer certificate, and the coaxial system is a little bit difficult to visualize without seeing an animation, but if you can imagine a couple of escape wheels on the same axle and a couple of different pallet stones on different levels, all operating a little bit, if you imagine a Christmas tree, it has a three-dimensionality to it. It's broad and it's tall, and that's kind of what the stacked escape surfaces of the coaxial look like. Invented by the late George Daniels, master watchmaker and independent horology hero, the system was industrialized by Omega in 1999, and it remains one of the most successful alternative escapement technologies ever implemented, and one of the few to make it with a major brand. Its hallmark is better precision in the short term, better long-term timing stability, and ultimately realized in the 8500s and the 9300 chronographs, reduced maintenance requirements. A full bridge for the balance and a free sprung index. You can see those two features give it shock resistance. What you may not be able to see is that there is an SI14 silicon hairspring that also endows the watch with robust anti-magnetism. So it's both a highly water resistant watch at 150 meters and robustly anti-magnetic. Combine that with the time zone function and the hacking seconds that we already discussed, and there is a lot to love about this watch. Whether you're an artist, an engineer, or a golfer, this watch has something to offer. And if you're just looking for a handsome watch that's sporting in its profile and intent without being a hardcore diver, this is your Omega Seamaster. See perhaps the most versatile of Seamasters and make it yours on our website. And we're back with the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra Golf Edition. You may not golf in the dead of night, but make no mistake, you'll know the time. See it and make it yours on our website.